You good? Somebody check what time it is so we can try to keep this at 30 minutes.
Hey, start off with the announcements about this weekend though.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to do them?
No.
Come on. Okay. Welcome into Off the Cleat. We're back in studio after last week's pretty crazy one with Span. So we're back in studio at the Jolly Parrot. So we're checking in today with Wesley and April from Radioactive. We'll get to them here shortly. And then obviously Chris is over there because he's always here. A few people watching out here in the massive studio audience of the Jolly Parrot. Yeah, the crowd goes wild. So a quick couple announcements. Saturday we'll be at Airport Marine meet and greet 8 to 1, I believe, selling the boat club giveaway, the boat giveaway tickets. The boat will be there obviously because the airport's partnered with us on that. So you check it out. We'll be there. We'll have boat club merch for sale as well. But most of us doing meet and greets, trying to sell some tickets for this 1 in 500 chance to win a brand new 2025 low 210 tri-tune with a Mercury 150 and a trailer. And got everything in there, and it's got a GPS on it too. Had that added, so very, very nice boat. So we'll see you Saturday for that. And I guess that's about all the announcements right now. Upcoming events. Look at the calendar. We Waxahachie in 2 weeks doing a meet and greet. Then we got the Memorial Day concert after that. We'll get pretty heavy posted about the Memorial Day concert this next week or two. Start sharing that. So without further ado, let's get into our guest. You don't know anything about weather.
Nope, don't know nothing about weather.
Don't know nothing about trolls.
Nope, know nothing about trolls.
So we'll get to I don't know. Your business guys, go to that. So let's get your business is Radioactive, and they're in Pelham. It's a stereo shop. I can say that I know for a fact they do side by sides, campers, boats, cars, golf carts.
All the above.
If it rolls, he can put some speakers on it. It'll sound good. Pretty much.
Absolutely.
That's what they specialize in. We're gonna get into some of that in a minute, but I want to get back. So you told me before, I don't recall, how long have y'all been there and doing this? Because I know it's a while.
Right. We've been in business since late 85, early 86. Okay. The two original owners were both retired from Southern Company. And they did it because literally one of their sons got screwed over by some competition. And they were like, no, we're gonna do something about this. So
Interesting.
We are very heavy in customer satisfaction, trying to take care of the customer, give you good equipment, good price, good everything for what you're getting, and that's just, it's been that ever since. So, and what's kind of crazy is we live in Chelsea and they are both from Chelsea. There's a Chester Crane Road over here that's named after them. The old, what is it, the library?
Mm-hmm. Was their grandmother's home?
They turned it into the library where it was their grandmother's house that they grew up in like 100 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, so they have both since passed away, but awesome guys to work for. I mean,
pass it down to Big Sexy.
So, yeah.
Oh, there's your name on it. Right there on the uniform. It just tells you, if you go in there, and you're going to know what you're getting.
Absolutely. Big Sexy is what you're getting. So.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You said you're in business that long. A couple years ago, I posted something out wanting a CD changer, and y'all messed with me. Y'all had one brand new in the box from like 2010, a 400 disc or something, and it's actually sitting right over there.
Oh, yeah.
The belt broke in it, I think, obviously, because it's probably dry rotted, but it's not working last year. But yeah, actually, I had some old stock in there you mentioned, and I bought it from you way back then.
We used to do a lot of home audio and stuff like that. Kind of, over the years, things have changed. So we probably had a lot of stock left over. That's what we was getting rid of there. But yes, so we do, not only the car stereos and stuff, but we do vehicle wraps. We do some signs and banners, as y'all know about the signs and banners, trying to do stuff for the boat club, help y'all out as much as we can.
Yeah, all the banners you see on the front of the stage and all that, and the events they print them for. So that's where we get them from, and usually with about 15 minutes notice.
It's the amount of notice that y'all produce.
And we won't point any fingers. You're probably watching, but they knock them out on the last minute all the time. And sometimes it's random ideas we come up with. We had to make one last year for because everybody always wants to top to us at Stump Fest where the stage is. We got to keep that clear because we get bands delivered in that way and whatnot. We actually had a big banner that said "Do not tie here," printed like midnight Friday night before Stump Fest.
That's in my boathouse.
Yeah, so they can handle last minute stuff within reason.
Within reason, yes. Always within reason.
Yeah, within reason.
And as of right now, we got one boat in the shop, and over the past probably 3 weeks or so, hey, I need to get my boat in there. Well, y'all do realize y'all had all winter to do this.
Yeah.
Not right here.
The same thing Luke talked about with servicing boats. It's like they just blow up in the spring. It's like, man, if you knock this out in the winter, it's done. You can just go put your boat in the water. You know,
absolutely.
Nobody thinks about it. They're thinking about football and turkey and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Halloween costume. They don't think, I'm gonna drop my boat off and get this handled, so I'm not stressing and rushing. But
they're also like last minute when we need help on big sponsors.
oh yeah, so they've come through and sponsored many of things, from events to speakers to.
Do you have to? Did you told the speaker story yet on one of the podcasts?
No, I don't think I have. So talk about how they give back and help out. The More Day concert 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago.
I hooked up all the speakers on the stage and realized that 2 of them were completely blown, like done. And we had a lot less speakers then than we do now, so it's kind of critical to get them. And I told Debbie, I was like, they're blowed, blah blah blah. And 10 minutes later, she walks out. She goes, "Hey, Radioactive's donating the money. Go meet them. Go get new ones at Bailey Brothers." I'm like,
okay, sure, we'll handle it.
So that they jumped right in on that. So we think that Nacho Daddy blew him yelling lyrics and not the guy that was running the soundboard.
No, definitely not.
Not that guy, huh?
But that was epic, though. I mean, that would made all the difference.
Yeah, well, you probably wouldn't be able to hear it without that. So thank y'all for that coming through. Again, last week, just call them right when you need something. Right then, you must take care of it. Yeah, this is terrible advertising. People be lying. I want it now.
I heard y'all do it right now.
This is terrible. Oh, so I know you do a lot of boat stuff, and I'm sure you do car stuff as well. But since we're a boat club or boat-based podcast, whatever you want to call it, we're just on boat seats.
Yeah.
What would be like? What would be like kind of the go-to? Like, I got a new boat. Boats generally don't come with the best sound system unless you get the upgrade from the factory.
Right.
And the upgrade from the factory cost will be way more than what you get the exact same equipment from a local vendor and stuff like that, like these guys. So if you're just getting a base model boat, like, and you want to just upgrade where I can hear run down the river, what would you go to? And what ballpark price range?
Price range there. So our go-to equipment is going to be Hertz, which you looked that up. You never heard of it.
I hadn't had Sunday, literally.
Yeah, they've been around since '89. Like I said, they started out they big in the bike world. Then they just progressive. They just strictly they try to do sound quality and good equipment. Okay. The radios, actually, we had one sitting right here. You got it right there in your lap. So just like everybody else, but it looks just like everybody else's and stuff. But they started about $369-ish. So that's not an entry level. It's not a bottom of the barrel by no means, but it's not top of the line either.
And top of the line gets you on something like that. The base is going to get you the same kind of performance, but you get more features.
Right.
So
you get more features that a lot of people out here might not use.
Multiple zones,
touch screen, which you don't have to have touch screen.
Oh, Lord, not out here.
So that's a good starting point. And then like on the HEXs right here, like we sell Kenwood also. Kenwood has their starters are going to be around with LEDs $179 a pair. These are around $379 a pair, but the sound quality difference between the two is
these from what I'm hearing. I just looked up who they were. What you're saying, they're comparable to a Wet Sounds or JL Audio for quality and sound. They're in that ballpark.
Absolutely in that ballpark. We run Hertz in our boats. I got quite a few customers out here with Hertz and stuff in it.
That's where I heard it Sunday.
Trying to build it up. So trying to build it up. Like I said, around $379-ish a pair there. Most of your new boats come with radio and 4, but a lot of them come radio and 6 nowadays. So you're talking $369, roughly $1,000 for some speakers, $1,400 with the radio, and then you want to put an amplifier on them too. There again, Kenwood would do marine Kenwood entry level stuff there. Good 4-channel is going to be around $300. If you want to do a 5-channel and do a sub, 5-channel starts at about $450. Of course, Hertz has their stuff too, but you jump up about double that price.
Yep.
But there's a reason for that.
And in amplifiers, the Kenwoods and all their kickers, all those are good. Maybe the Hertz and the JLs and the Wet Sounds are better. But if you were going to mount it in a boat, like in a pontoon up under the steering wheel, your boat sits in a boathouse, the the lower end, as you say, amps are going to last just as long because they're not exposed. Those JLs and wet sounds that what make theirs so expensive. I know this because I am an old school audio nerd. They test theirs for like saltwater environments, right. like really certified for saltwater. So they're more durable from a weather perspective. But if you're mounting it on a freshwater lake under your console, you could save some money and get a less expensive amp, and you're not going to compromise any of your quality or longevity or sound.
No, and when they say marine, all that stuff, the boards are usually coated. It just gives you a warranty, and it will make it last a lot longer. You don't want to stick a car amp in there.
No, you still want to get a marine amp.
Absolutely not, because a lot of customers will go, well, it's not going to get wet. We're not out in the rain, nothing like that. Well, I understand that.
It's humid in the Jolly Fair right now. It's humid right now.
You get in the water, you get out, that carpet gets soaked with water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when it starts heating up, moisture comes up. Moisture is what usually gets it.
You put your cover on it wet, maybe.
Exactly.
I have fried car audio amps in a boat the exact same way. They never got wet. Just because I was goofing around seeing what I wanted years back. I've done that. It's very easy to do.
Can I ask a question for the non-radio nerds? Because I'm surrounded by radio nerds.
No.
And 90% of the people that know about when you talk about the channels, what are you talking about? Like
as
the 5-channel port?
5-channel, like a 4-channel. You got most of them. You have nowadays. You have a monoblock amplifier, which is designed solely to run a subwoofer. Okay, the certain about 80 hertz and below. You got a 4-channel amplifier, which is designed to run like your 6.5, your normal, quote unquote, just like in a car door speakers and stuff like that, like those right there.
Okay.
And then you can do a 5-channel, which is incorporating the 4-channel and the monoblock amplifier all in one chassis. So if you ain't got a lot of room, for 2 amplifiers, you can compensate and do 1 amplifier to get you a good sound quality there. And there again, save a few dollars too if you needed to.
And part of that too on pontoon boats, especially, you're actually going to 2 pieces of electronic equipment down to 1. It's still putting out the same amount of power, but it is going to draw a little bit less current. And with the pontoons, they don't have alternators like the big speed boats do.
Exactly.
So you got to be smart in your setup so you don't kill your batteries out there.
Being smart in your setup, a lot of your near pontoons still only come with 1 battery.
Mine did in 17.
Did it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's one of those people like, well, I want to get out there and play it, but I want to be able to leave when it's time to leave.
So how do you do that then? How do you do that?
So you buy that.
That's a box. You call Michael.
Yeah, there you go.
How much does a phone call to Michael cost through Radioactive?
Hey, we can work it out.
We need them now.
We can work it out any way you want to.
That on-time service right there.
There you go. But on that setup, we'll typically add at least 1 extra battery depending on what you're doing, and then we can do. A lot of your boats have the manual, the big red on-off things. Those are you can do those, and they have 1 position, 2 position, whatever. Mm-hmm. But we typically do what they call an isolator, and that way when you crank the boat, it puts them together. You're charging while you're going under a river. You turn it off, it isolates them. The stereo's hooked to that 1 extra battery, so you're only pulling from that battery.
So I don't know about these at all, then. So I'm a switch guy for my stuff I've built.
Right. So,
okay.
So like I said, and then when you go up there, you play. You've been out there for a couple of hours. You go up there, and as soon as you turn the ignition, it puts that back together. You got your good cranking battery. So
and it charges those.
Right.
Now I'm gonna have to get one of those. You see how this happens? You ask what is the entry level. Now we're all the way up to isolators and dual batteries.
Exactly.
So for the sake of it, if you want to get some more sound out of your boat, I'm gonna ballpark. You're looking at about $2,500 for a base upgrade with an amp, a good head unit, good speakers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's and I will say with labor 25 to 35, depending on what you do.
I was just ballparking off. It's obviously it's like a car or anything or a house. All these boats are built different, so each one requires different labor. To mount the amps, run the wires, etc. Some of them you have to enlarge the holes. Mm-hmm. So there is going to be. It will vary based on what boat you have.
What boat you got, and literally a lot of times because they're so bass audio, a lot of them have such a bass audio in it. Mm-hmm. Just by upping the radio and changing the speakers will make a huge difference.
So that is something you could do even cheaper. Then you could throw a good radio in there that's not give any fits. I mean,
right.
Chris's radio is terrible. It drops Bluetooth all the time. It really does. It's annoying. I mean, get a good radio that's going to work every time you get in it and get new speakers. And that's kind of what I did on my boat when I first got it. I pulled the speakers out and just put some other speakers in it. It made a big difference. It made a really big difference just to start off. No amp, no nothing.
No amp, no nothing. And that's a lot. I get a lot of customers we got there again. One of the boats we got in there this year. Last year we replaced everything for him.
Mm-hmm.
This year we're adding another sub and adding another pair of 6.5s and another amplifier.
I like this guy already.
So yeah, I mean, you can do it steps at a time. I mean, of course, do we want you to spend it all at one time? Absolutely, but you can do it at steps at a time.
Yeah, that's a good thing. If you're buying something now, like you want to make sure if you're going to keep going, it's upgradable. Mm-hmm. So generally, maybe if you buy the bigger amp now. Right. And don't get all the speakers for it, then add the speakers next year. So you can tier it.
You can
like
tier
that. It's pretty, amps are pretty capable. You can say, well, I just want to run 4 right now, or I'm going to run 6. Like, you can select that on a lot of them. So you could do this as your tax returns come in every spring, because everybody waits to work on the boat till spring, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, wait till spring to fix your boat up.
And not only doing audio like those radios like you had, they got backup camera input, so we can even put a backup camera on there if you wanted to.
Oh.
God, can you have a 360? Because Chris may have been a dock then.
That would be cool.
We have now solved Chris's docking on this podcast.
Yes, we definitely did.
Thank goodness.
I still need the dock yourself push button. Like.
Hey,
well, that's going to be an upgrade next spring.
That would be awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I know there's boats out there that have that, but that's one of those I don't have that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've just got Chris driving his, and that's dangerous enough. I don't need to push some buttons and crashing into stuff.
And what's crazy is we do have a boat. I've never drove our boat.
Really?
She's the driver.
I think I've drove your boat.
Yeah, I think you drove the boat. I've never drove the boat. She drives the boat. So.
Hey, I like this. I do. I really like where this is going.
So yeah. So any dings, dents, or whatever, guess what? You blame it on me. Could be me.
I may have snuck your boat off until Chris docked us. There
you
go. So what do you have? So you're the stereo shop owner and all that. What do you have in your boat?
Well, wait, before he tells you, we can't put anything else on ours. Ours will sink. That's what we have on ours. Ours will sink.
This is not a complaint, I don't. This sounds like a good
idea. They'll find you because the radio will be so loud.
Yes.
So what do we have?
Sounds amazing.
What do we have for just some equipment side? Speakers, amps, all that. What do we have on your boat?
I have the step above on this radio right here, the Hertz radio. The step above these on the Hertz. I got 8 6.5s. So I got 6 in the boat, 2 on the back of the boat. Then I've got the 10-inch JBL towers. And then I've got 3 Hertz MilliPro 12s. And ours has what they call the swing back. And basically that whole swing back there is ported box. So
one big box. Under the seat. Under the seat.
I've heard it.
We do Hertz. And we do.
I got extra batteries.
2 extra batteries. Have the Hertz 8-channel DSP amplifier, which you ever done anything with DSP or you know anything about DSP?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike Weeks. So you may have told me. My bad.
No, that's one of those literally, instead of using, adjusting crossovers on an amplifier, you actually plug it with a computer and you adjust everything on the computer.
Wow. So you adjust the voltage output of the speakers, right?
Crossover points and everything. Yeah. So that's literally, so like in that boat, we can tweak that speaker, this speaker, slow down.
And the amp has to have that capability.
Yeah. Well, you have to have a DSP. There's amps that have DSPs built into them, and there's DSPs separately. We do a lot of those DSPs with amps built into them. So, see,
there's more stuff I don't have that I
They
need.
are really scaring me.
Well, I was kind of explaining
First of all, we needed to bring an interpreter on this freaking podcast. I don't understand anything what he just said.
That's kind of what I was talking to you about. But I said like tuning an amp. I'm a novice at it. I was like, kind of go just above 80 hertz with these speakers like this, and just kind of set your volume to kind of where you think is safe, and start cranking that amp up. And that's kind of tuning all of it. What I'm doing, right?
Right.
He's talking about he can hook up and say, I just want the left front speaker to run, and he tunes that one speaker. That's the difference. So that's the difference.
So you do this at the shop and with a computer, and you're fine tuning it as you're.
Yes, sir. And when we get it all installed, we start tweaking. I've done it a couple times, but we have 2 guys that are super awesome at it. So
they're amazing.
They're amazing. So Radioactive don't happen without Kevin and Ethan. So
Kevin and Ethan, yeah. How many people do you have up there working?
Just us 4.
Just us 4, yeah. I've been in there several times. I always chat with y'all, and there's usually a couple people in the shop working. I don't ever pay attention necessarily, but it's a big old shop, and there's so much going on all the time. So 2 people kicking out there. You probably get out there and help them a little bit, don't you?
I get out.
He's out there all the time.
I've been tinkering with my radio the past like week and a half, 2 weeks, using some stuff I had in my old boat, and I'm getting some stuff from you. I don't, I used to work on cars for a living. I don't do it anymore, but it's tinkering on that. I was like, I don't like this. This is fun, man. I enjoy it.
And we all still enjoy it.
So that is, so you still enjoy tinkering?
Yes,
You still enjoy it.
So that's you gotta enjoy it to do it and do it right.
I can imagine. So Chris has been on my boat the past few weeks, putting with my radio. Michael has, Amelia has, and it's fun to like kind of let, hey, hear it now. I did this. So what's it like when you when you give that customer that just spent, whether it's the $1,000 just kind of minor upgrade or the big money huge upgrade? What's it like when they get them on the boat and you turn that sound on first? What's it like seeing the reactions?
I love seeing the reaction, the smile come across their face.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, I'm the shit right now.
That's
Sorry.
The best part. That's the best part is seeing their reaction.
Yeah, seeing their reaction. We had a gentleman come in the other day. We did his Ford truck for him, and he spent X amount of dollars. And once we were done, he was questioning, but once we were done, he's like, heck yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we give him another quote, double what he spent for his next. He said, I want to go stupid on my next one. That's okay. We can do that.
I like this guy.
And he said, give me about 2 weeks. Let me get back into town. And he said, I'll set it up the appointment. We'll take care of it.
He needs to buy a boat.
Yeah. That's what's fun about it. It's kind of like if you're a tinking kind of person want to keep upgrading, that stereo stuff is some fun stuff to play, mess with. And then when you're on the water on the boat, I mean, it's everybody plays music on the water.
Everybody plays music. Sound carries real far on the water.
Sometimes people play stuff at hanging out at different places, low water, etc. That's annoying and somewhat trashy. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
But everybody likes good music on the water with their friends, and it's sometimes you may need to drown that person out next to you who's playing something crappy, or sometimes you're just riding with your friends and family down the river, and the wind's whipping, and you crank out. I think you can't hear it. You want to hear it and sing along and have fun with the people on your boat. So
absolutely,
I think it's very valuable to invest in a radio on a boat.
It is.
I think it is.
It makes a lot more enjoyable.
Yep.
And when you unless you're over there going turn it up and you hear that. It's like, I can't understand it. I can't.
Yeah, well, that'll make a man mad. And I've been dealing with it for, I bought my boat in June of 17. I was like, I put all the stereo stuff out of my old boat that I kept in there, and it's been in totes ever since then. So I'm getting that enjoyment right now, piddling with stuff, and I've called him, hey, I need you to check on this.
Yeah.
What about this? What do you think about this? I mean, and I'm throwing stuff off the wall he's never even stocked before because I'm a radio nerd.
There you go. So, hey, same thing, like you said, talking about going out in low water, hanging out, just chilling, talking to everybody. We get the questions, and why does it sound like this? Why does it like that? I mean, we all like educating, because a box makes or breaks what a sub sounds like. Quite a few little things, just little things people wouldn't think about. A lot of your pontoons, like from the factory, you'll see them; they'll cut them in the side of that seat right there.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that on mine.
Well, I mean, we'll cut a boat all day long. I mean,
get the tape measure, guys.
Yeah. But like, a lot of that stuff's made out of just chintzy little plastic.
Yep.
That it's not rigid. So when the base hits, the sub's not doing what it can do.
Because the seat's moving.
Yes.
Exactly.
Instead of the sub just moving. Exactly. Everything's moving.
So
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That reverberation was that?
We got stuff called HDPE that's 3/4 inch thick that we'll go in there and we'll brace the inside of that with. And just by bracing that sub that you just installed would help a whole lot. Little things. Like I said, little things like that.
And what he just said, HDPE is pretty much everybody knows what composite decking is, tracks, that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much what that is in a nutshell. So he's putting something inside your seat that's plastic that's not going to rot.
Right.
It's not good. It's not like a piece of plywood you got to worry about. So that is something that's ultra durable, going to last the life of your seat.
Right.
Yep. Yes, you're not really compromising anything by doing that.
Right. No, not really compromising anything.
And it also reinforces because it's thicker, where you cut the hole in it, reinforces the whole structure. So that's actually good for it to do that.
Absolutely.
I didn't still want to cut holes in mine. I don't know why. I'm a weirdo. I don't
I'm
want to do it.
I had to look away.
Hey, she had to look away a few times.
My first system I did in a pontoon, I kind of hid the subs. I built a box and was the seat over it and all that. Mm-hmm. I guess I like that aesthetic, maybe. I don't know, but I was just maybe I was just scared to cut holes in my boat. One of the two, but
well, and that's like I said, that's the way our boat is. The subs are hid, But
you got that huge lounger though.
Exactly.
Right. I don't have that in mine. So that's back to what you talked about a minute ago. Everything's going to be priced different because it's different. So like my boat actually is a little bit quirky to wire because my battery's in the back and like a bar, and then everything's in the front, and my helm was really far forward, so you got about more wire to do it, stuff like that. So that's the difference where, and then my boat doesn't have that big deck or the big lounger, so I can't put 312s in mine without losing all of your seating.
Losing premium space on the boat.
Premium storage, I should say, not premium seating. Storage, so everything's a little different in what you know. So my boat will never sound as good as yours because just because of the layout.
Right.
From the start, I couldn't build that big of a system in mine. So everybody's going to be different.
Everybody's going to be different. You know, a lot of people nowadays, something else, you know, all your near boats come with 6.5s, a lot of times mounted on the back side of the boat for when you're out swimming behind the boat and stuff like that. You know, but you do have older pontoons that don't have that option. We've cut plenty of them into the back of the wall back there, you know, having a couple of 6.5s, a couple of 8s, you know, where people can have.
When you're out swimming behind the boat, you're using it.
Right.
So I'll tell you something, we'll get back to what you asked a little while ago, Chris, about channels and zones. So these new radios, like, so you're in the boat, we're in the boat right now, right here, we're on boat seats, radio's blaring, everybody in the water who's 100 foot behind us having a good old time. We can't even talk because it's so loud. Well, these new radios give you the ability to have zones. So they can crank this volume right here, right on down to where it's just for us to hear it, and that over there behind the boat stays blaring. So that is one of the features that you could upgrade to radios, or do differently.
That's big on your because of what you just said.
Exactly.
So that's a dual zone radio that you can do that. So that is an option. I know I've done it before on one of mine, but that is and I'll say this, I recommend it highly. So
like our boat is a 3-zone radio because I can do inside towers and then on the back of the boat itself.
So you have that on yours then?
Yes, I have 3-zone on that one. I did one the other day. I replaced the radio and brand unsaid because we don't sell it, but you know, from the factory that radio had 4 zones. It was literally front, right here, towers, and then the sub itself. So it literally you could get 4 zones you could adjust, you know, depending on who, what, when, and where it was going on.
So I got a question for you. So what if you had a blank slate? You had a couple of pontoons and it was nothing but, and then you built the most mega sound system ever.
That'd be fun.
And then we built a boat on top of it.
That'd be fun.
I've got an idea that's brewing in my head right now.
I know what that idea is. Basically, I mean, to say the boat club has had a pontoon boat since 2019 when we were just, only selling shirts. Only Stump Fest first year. We bought a 84 model pontoon boat for I think $600, $700. Piece of junk. Piece of junk.
It floats though, right?
It does float. And I tore it down. Many of you know I had back surgery. I tore it down a week before I hurt my back. So it's been tore down since then. And we've joked the past couple of years that we want to rebuild it so we have a boat club boat to tow the stage, that kind of stuff. And we have decided we're doing it this winter.
Right.
And I think that's what you're going with. You want to put a stereo system on.
I think we ought to let them look at it, and we get everything going. But before we put seats, a helm, an engine, we build the stereo system.
You build the boat,
and then we build everything else around that. And you better watch out. And it would say radio. It would have a radioactive neon sign on it.
I understand.
Look, guys, I put an Alpine system in the early '90s. Those guys did it. The Alpine was the
yours is still
in my car.
I
so early '90s you went radioactive
and put an Alpine.
Neighbors up there talking
Alpine
behind the scenes.
the best thing in the world. I don't even know if they make Alpines.
Yes, Alpine.
Alpine's still around.
I love the Alpine head units.
That's how good these guys are. They can do it.
Well, that's when we all had to have like a CD changer. None of
always have their Japanese.
None of that.
Companies think they are. They're not as big as everybody else. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's just one of those. There again, quick and easy, like I said on this.
Oh yeah,
no, you're fine. It's talking about the back of the
Chris
boat.
is buying this, by the way, today.
Those sound amazing.
Debbie.
So this is
those sound awesome.
This is a sound bar like you got at your house.
Right.
I asked all these questions 12 minutes ago because I'm very intrigued by it. Sound bar like you got at your house, but it mounts to a roll bar on your razor, your 4-wheeler rack, your ski bar on your boat, etc. And it's Bluetooth, or you can do an input on it, run it off your head unit.
You can.
It's got good bass.
And it's made by JBL, so it sounds good. I love my JBLs, my JBL boom boxes.
A lot of your typical sound bars do not have a lick of bass whatsoever. That does. So, and literally power and ground, you can strap it to the back of the boat, and you got something playing outside the back of the boat, or there again, like in your ATV, whatever.
Michael Davis may need one of these.
And I know the 32-inch does. I'm not 100% sure, but they got pretty lights that dance too.
32-inch.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's big.
Wow.
It's like as big as that broom handle right there. I was looking for a yardstick. We're not in the shop though. But good look. That's a big old speaker.
Oh yeah, it is.
I don't know if my ski bar is that wide. Me, go measure that real quick. Wow, that's it. So they make two sizes.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Holy
They got that
noses.
one, and like I said, they call the other one XL. That's the S, and the other one's called an XL. So.
Chris, you need the XL.
Okay.
And,
I mean, we could put one on Debbie's.
My boat is this big.
jet ski.
That thing's
Yeah.
bigger than my
Oh,
boat.
don't say
Yes.
that one.
yeah.
Yes,
That
Debbie,
boat wasn't
Debbie's
really
one
jet
for her.
ski.
Oh, the wave runner. The
Yes.
Apple needs one.
Oh,
Yes.
don't even get
Yes.
it started.
Is it
You
now we're
guys
at
said
30
that
now?
they would put one.
Oh, so we've been shut off by the back end.
Just letting you know what time.
We're trying to keep them to 30 minutes. So we are.
Yeah.
So we are
That's right.
timing them now. So.
And the one of the other things that we do. That
Yeah, so we got to get into what
no,
she does.
She does, right. And there again, her on this part being up front helping, can't do it without her. So, she does. She does.
She answers when I call.
Exactly.
So we do vehicle wrap, signs, banners,
Mhm.
all of the fun stuff, and all of our companies that will in that because it sounds crazy what I do in a stereo shop, but all of our companies that want their logo on a vehicle
Mhm.
or on a food truck or because we do all of the above, they want their logo on a hat, they want it on a shirt, they want it on an apron, so I do embroidery and I specialize in company logos. That's
Okay.
what I do.
Do you help people like design some too? Do you ever do?
Well, I dabble in that.
Dabble?
If
That's a
they
good thing.
send me a logo, that's even better.
Yeah.
But I can dabble in designing one.
Dabble.
But I think Debbie's good at the graphic.
Yeah,
design.
Debbie does all of our
Yeah,
stuff.
Debbie's
Yeah.
Debbie's good at that.
Well, we're about to have our second grandbaby, so I'm just
Just saying.
saying.
Chris, when we go back to me, it's gonna be block letters like this. There's my designing right there, buddy. There's my
With a
design.
circle around it.
Yeah, that took a lot of effort, guys. PowerPoint was pretty
And I
easy.
was able whenever we came to one of the sponsors thing one year, or it was actually 2 years ago. We met Kathy from the
Yep.
farm company. Love Kathy.
She's
Oh,
a-
she's
Love
great.
her.
She is
Love her.
wonderful.
Yes.
So just like our real estate agents to support a ton of stuff on the lake, we can have multiple people that do embroidery and shirts.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The,
So you do all that stuff and do vehicle wraps. So how many? I just out of curiosity, how many wraps do y'all do? Is that like? I mean, you see a lot of that. It's like
it's a lot of it out there. We don't do a ton of it.
yeah,
We used to. It's kind of slowed down.
it has slowed down a little bit.
Slowed down a little bit on that side. Stereo side picked up and
Yeah.
with the direction that we went, so it slowed down a little bit over there. I do a little color change here and there. There again, printing company decals, put
Yeah.
them on the side,
Yeah,
stuff
the
like
decals
that.
are the biggest.
It's quicker, easier.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Probably make magnets, I'm sure.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Can't
magnets.
stick them to a Ford, but
I had a customer calling and order a set of those, and it's like, what kind of vehicle is it? She's like, Ford. I said, that ain't gonna stick.
That ain't gonna work.
She's like, "Do what?" That is not gonna work on that situation.
Somebody's available aluminum.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Yeah, that's just one of those. We do a lot of stuff to try to, make a
And we
dollar.
do
I guess.
alarms. We do all kinds of different stuff.
car alarm, yeah.
Car alarms.
We still do. We dabble in car alarms. I mean,
That was a
they're not
lot
as
bigger
big-
than the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
And now I
Yeah.
mean factory
Yeah.
they come with
Yeah.
pretty good alarms now. But yeah,
Exactly.
that was huge. Had the Viper alarm with the proximity sensors and all that
Oh,
back in the
absolutely.
90s.
Tracking devices. We do those for companies that
Yeah.
want.
Our children.
Children.
Well, yeah, our children. We don't do a whole lot of those, but we can. But a lot of companies that have a fleet of just vehicles,
Yeah.
they want to put a tracking device on.
Yeah, so from the tracking devices, radios, embroidery,
there's
hats,
one of those on my
wraps,
car.
logos. I mean, still,
Debbie
I
tracking.
mean,
What kind of car do you drive? I can't remember.
ooh, that's a tough one.
Which
Yeah.
Well, my bike,
which
which
one?
one? Yeah,
Which
the newest
one?
one's in 09. For anybody that's speaking, I got a bunch of nice
All right,
cars.
so
I drive so my back for the work car is a Honda Element. And I actually hit a deer back in December, and I'm not fixed it yet. So I'm driving my inherited 07 Tacoma right now to work. So that's my back for the work stuff. And
reason I ask is because a lot of people nowadays are just, and it's been gradually getting more, but Apple CarPlay, Android Auto.
I need that. I need that in some of my cars.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. When I cut up,
We
I'm
have
so.
old vehicles.
Yeah. I mean, nothing we own has a Bluetooth audio. I don't think.
No.
It's like nothing. It's all, we're OGs over here.
So yeah, Apple
We have
CarPlay
that
and Android
little thing
Auto
that
is the
sits
bigger
in your
stuff.
car.
nowadays.
It's
It's terrible. So
I
Apple CarPlay. So you
Yes.
so you take an old hoopty like I drive and get some nice Bluetooth phone call,
Absolutely.
music in it.
Do it, your navigation right there on the radio from your
that's
iPhone.
nice.
You know,
And as soon as you put it in, I realize my speakers are blown because it's an 06. So then I got to put speakers in.
Gotta put speakers.
See how that exponentially works on a car too.
Well, we'll say this before we close. I know a lot of people have gotten on the poker run. April does the specialty cups that Scott.
Yeah, all the cup door prizes. Everybody like it's like a collector's item.
Yes.
Oh, it is. You're right.
She does. So if you've gotten a
Those are fun to
poker
do, too.
run cup, and it's always the logo we use different logos for poker run. April made those.
Yeah. Cups. They donated a ton of door prizes every year. They were actually, when we first got this poker run really rolling, y'all were one of the first companies to ever donated some Orca coolers and speakers, I think, the first year. And ever since
Y'all are
then-
the reason I want to be able to be in, buy tickets, but I'm not allowed. But y'all are the reason I was like, can I change my name?
Chris, can we buy tickets here so we don't get accused of cheating if I win a cup? God.
But someone wanted to take our cup. Say, can I have this? I said, absolutely not.
Nope.
That's part of our collection.
Yes.
I do get a cup
Yes.
for doing it.
Yes.
I would like to win the Orca cooler or some boat speakers.
There you go.
Yeah,
Chris, will they let us play?
We get
And
really,
they will
really
not let us play.
jealous
They cannot.
at their door prizes. that
And I
they
hadn't
do 'cause
mentioned
we
this
don't play.
yet, but that boat y'all are giving away. I mean, you need to let me look at it, see if we can upgrade that a little bit.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, to a certain extent, but
Yeah.
because I can only imagine what's on there, So whoever wins it will have something nice. They got it's a nice boat, especially with a 150 on there. Already.
Yeah, it's a Triton
Yeah,
too.
Triton
so
with
Oh,
a
yeah.
150.
I bet it'll fly. Okay, so we will discuss it. Maybe we could do a little radio upgrade on it.
Right.
I don't even know we saw it. I didn't even pay attention to it. I wasn't in radio mode then. I got excited.
Oh,
We'll,
yeah,
see,
no,
we'll
yeah.
see it Saturday. We'll have to.
Yeah, Saturday we'll do it. Well, I'll text you some pictures about
This is what we can do.
With that face.
it. So we may,
So, just FYI, if you buy a ticket, not only will you get a new boat, you may get a brand new,
Upgraded
real
stereo.
upgraded sound system.
Yeah.
all right, well, since Michael warned us a minute ago, we're over the 30-minute mark. We'll wrap this up. Thank you for watching another episode of Off the Cleat. And I forgot when Justin was here, so each person sign a brick wherever you want.
Sign a brick.
Yes.
Radioactive, Pelham, all
Thank
your
you for having
audio, shirts, wraps, vinyl car signs, marine audio, tracking devices on your trucks for your company, and probably 28, 30 things more. They can put lights under your boat. I know that
Yes,
they did that
we
to a
can
friend
do
of
that.
ours boat. So
We can
there's
do that.
all kind of stuff. That probably means lights on off-road trucks, I'm sure, as well. Probably do those. Light bars and all, I'm sure I got them for off-road
Yep.
vehicles.
Light bars, all that.
One-stop shop to, soup up your ride, your boat, everything, your side-by-side four-wheeler. Hit them up. They're great people. They're friends of mine. They're friends of the boat club. They support the community. They give back a ton. So when you need to get your stuff pimped out and going, holler at these guys and Pelham. So see y'all later. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it very, very
Thank
much.
y'all.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Give me the